Welcome back, everyone. I finally played another tournament, which means we're back with more content. That means I have more game analysis videos, and my goal for these videos is for them to be shorter than or just around 10 minutes, because I'm just really talking about a game, and that's kind of boring if it's too long. But if you have comments on what length you want these videos to be, then please put them in the comments. So without any further ado, let's jump into this first round. So I'm playing in the under 2300 section, and there are 7 rounds. So this is round one. My opponent is an 1800, and he starts with d4. I play knight f6, and I'm gonna go pretty fast through the opening because first of all it's embarrassing, and also just don't do what I do. So after a few moves, um, I just take this bishop because why not? But once I do this, white kind of has a pleasant position because he has a light squared bishop and a lot of pawns on the dark square near the center. And black doesn't have that much space. So my only thing that black has is the 2 bishops, but this bishop is like kind of stuck behind its pawns. So I'm gonna have to push a pawn at one point to open up the bishop, but the problem is e5 is hard to do, and then b6 kind of runs into c6 in some situations. So I play the move bishop to b6. Unfortunately, this is kind of playing for cheese, and what I mean by that is I'm hoping that my opponent does something like castles, so that I can play b6, and then if he plays b4, I can take and take and take the knight. This is horrible. Never, don't. This is just absolutely like horrible. Don't do that. Don't play a move like bishop f6. Instead just play like I don't know, play like b6 because you have knight b8 or something. Don't put the bishop here. The knight's supposed to go here. Anyways, so I play g6. One thing about bishop f6 is that I can like move it back to this diagonal. Not that it's doing much in this diagonal, but my only idea is to play e5 and open up my position because I do have the 2 bishops because I ate the bishops. So in this game, I'm playing like very simple one-dimensional chess, which is it's really boring. It's not that fun. But if it works, it works. And this is the first game, and I'm not trying to do anything too crazy, especially against an opponent who is less rated than me by over 200 points. With that being said, I do have to be careful not to take. Yeah, I have to be careful not to take too many risks. So, bishop g7. I'm just trying to play f6 and e5. Now there is a thing that I could possibly be worried about at some point, which is the move pawn to c6. It's probably not great for white, but with knight to a4, it is opening up the rook, and if you can like take this pawn probably at some point, then there's like pressure on the c file. Now it does weaken this. Well, this is backward. It's a backward pawn, anyways. The only problem is this center pawn. If this bishop ever opens up, maybe I can play a move like c5 if he lets me. But it's just an interesting idea. I wasn't really too worried. However, I did play c6 to stop it just in case. And this is actually a good spot for me to actually take a look at the quote that I have over here. So I mentioned at some point that I would actually start talking about these quotes that I put here. So I'm actually going to do that right now, briefly. So it says that half of the... I'm just going to paraphrase it. Basically, most of the stuff you calculate doesn't end up being useful. And that's very true. Unfortunately, it's very true. So I kind of spent a lot of time... Yeah, actually, later in the game, you'll see that I spent a lot of time where didn't need to. And it's because those calculations were kind of useless. So my opponent plays b4, trying to expand on the queen side. I play rook e8, so at this point my opponent realizes that I'm going for f6 and e5, so he goes rook c2. Now this is a decent idea. I didn't actually see this. It's pretty creative, trying to stack the rooks. I just keep going with my plan anyways. I go queen c7, putting another defender on this e5 square. Because my opponent has these 2 pawns, I have to put a lot of support for this e5 move. So he plays g3, f6, rook e2, and now I do play e5. And now my opponent makes a pretty positional, like under conceptual mistake. He trades off absolutely everything. But that's bad and it's the main reason is because I'm low on space. And when you're low on space, you want to trade, which means if you're high on space, you don't want to trade because your opponent's suffering is your pleasure in chess. Not in real life though, not always. So what you should do is just keep the tension here and Also, I can't take any of this because he has pressure on my rook. So even if I play e4, it's not like I can take anything. So if my opponent played something like just literally any move, like literally any move is what I mean by literally any move. So like queen d2. Like what am I gonna do? I can't move the knight because I lose the pawn. I can't move the rook because I lose the pawn. I'm pretty sure too. I can't take anything. If I play e4, that's doesn't do anything. He just moves bishop, moves knight, f3 coming. Probably can even take. Maybe. Probably not. You can maybe take. I don't know. Probably you don't have to though at all. But instead he trades everything. He trades one pawn. I thought he was going to move the knight now to like g5 and try to play like if I play e4 he plays like f3. But instead he takes again, which I was very surprised at. And now I've already more than equalized because now my bishop's getting into the game. So I'm very happy now. However, I kind of get a mini heart attack when I see that queen e2. And if I take the knight, then that would be a huge disaster. And you can pause the video to see why that would be a disaster. But if I take the answer is if I take the bishop, it looks like I'm attacking the rook. However, he does have this check, and after that, rook to e7 would pick up the queen. And now white is up a queen for a bishop and a rook. However, this rook is stuck in the corner, and I'm gonna lose very soon because my king is just completely nothing next to it. So I was kind of scared at that. I actually noticed that when I took with the rook. So when I took with the rook, I was like, okay, takes, and I'm fine. I'm attacking the knight. Queen e2. But luckily, very luckily, I had bishop f6. I have bishop f6, stopping covering e7. So he checks, but he no longer has rook e7, which is really good. He goes with d7. Now I trade queens. He goes here trying to like activate his rook, but I get lucky again in that my bishop and king kind of harmonize to cover everything on this back rank, so he has to move back. Now my pieces start getting in, and this is actually where I start using a lot of time. So how much you try to guess right now? How much time do you think I spent on the move bishop to c3? So I don't know exactly how much time I spent, but I know it was like about 15 minutes, which is way too long. It's absolutely way too long because it's not even a critical moment. Basically, whatever move I make, I'm gonna have some sort of advantage. My idea is just I basically had two ideas: playing a5 or moving the rook to this open file. So I was really trying to decide between these two ideas. They're probably both more or less equal. I can probably play a5 right now already. But I spent a lot of time, then I played bishop c3 because it was an obvious move, and then I start thinking again, which is really bad. If you play an obvious move, you should just like play again because then you keep your opponent guessing basically. That's what you're gonna do. So I'll play bishop d7, which is kind of a soft move. I decide that I want to move the rook over here basically. But then suddenly I play a5, But then suddenly I play a5 because I thought that, and obviously this is the best move because I'm just bad. But I play a5 thinking that, okay, if he plays a3, I just take, now the rook's open. If he plays b5, I just play bishop to b4, and I'm attacking this pawn. That's very good. But I forgot that he could just take, now he's attacking this pawn. So now I'm like, I missed this. And I have this, like, bad habit where I either think a position's completely winning, completely drawn, or completely losing. So, which is the truth, but that's not good. That's not which, like, theoretically that's true, but not practically. So I think, like, oh no, I just blundered. It's probably just a draw now. So I just kind of tilt and take. But if I play rook a7, I'm still like better by quite a bit because, well, not by quite a bit. Like I'm doing it again, but black's still obviously slightly better in this endgame. But I take, he takes. Now I'm starting to panic. I go king e7, knight d4. I think I can take, but I cannot take. So try to pause the video and try to calculate as far as you can why can I not take. So if you saw knight b3, congratulations, you've seen a backwards knight move fork, one of the easiest moves to miss. And if you saw that after rook c3, I'm attacking both pieces, but he can have this move bishop to f1. And now if he's attacking my bishop and threatening bishop to h3, bishop d7, congratulations, you can probably get a 35 in Puzzle Rush. So I can't take the pawn, which is very unfortunate, so I have to step out of the pin. And now he plays rook to b2, which I think is a soft move. I think he's scared to play rook b8. After the game, he told me that he thought rook h8 ran into bishop c3, but in fact he still has this knight b3 move. So after takes and takes, white's up a pawn. Probably still a draw because I have two bishops, but white is up a pawn. And the funny thing is he saw knight b3 after bishop c3. This happened in the game. So I'm not sure why he thought this was a better version with when the rook's not on a8. So I play rook a7. Obviously, I don't really want to. At this point, when he played this, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not losing. I'm not in any sort of danger anymore, even though I'm down a pawn. So if I can like activate my pieces, I can probably get some chances. So I play rook c2. I play d4. I'm just trying to restrict his pieces as much as possible, and this knight actually doesn't have much scores to jump to. So I play rook e2, trying to activate the rook, but this is actually a very bad mistake because I can go bishop to g4, hitting the rook, and the rook actually has no really good scores to go to. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. And if it goes here, I think I just take the pawn, probably. I just take the pawn. And if it goes here, that actually runs into a skewer. I put the rook and bishop on a skewer. Okay, so he has to go back, and now I go here, attack the rook again. So this is a nice intermezzo, forcing the rook away. Now I go back to f3, which is where I want to go anyways, but now I have a threat on this pawn. So he has a couple ways to defend the pawn. He can go here or here. He doesn't want to go back because that's like kind of bad psychologically. You don't really want to act like you're doing nothing, even if it's the best thing to do. That's like really hard for a human to do. It kind of admits that you're worse. But he plays bishop to c4, trying to use tactics. He does have that takes d4. If I do choose to take the pawn, but I do not have to. I play rook to a4. Now he goes bishop g8, trying to go after these pawns. However, after I play king e7, he cannot actually take this pawn because it's kind of a Bobby Fischer trapped bishop after king f7. I just go here and here these bishops here are very powerful. It kind of restricts the rook from doing anything. So it's like crisscross helicopter blades. It just yeah. Okay. So I go king e7. What's the next? Yeah, king f1. So this move, I think his idea was to not too sure, but he just made. I think he just made a move because it doesn't stop. It's not like it's preventing back rank. It's just a move. So I play h5. This also doesn't do much because he wasn't attacking it anyways. But yeah, it's also just a kind of a waiting move. But he plays rook c2, and this is actually a blunder. And the reason for that is I'm winning some material now. So I play king to f8. It says it's a miss. I did miss something, but it's not really a miss. And I'll show you why I say that. So, this is actually, it's already been 12 minutes. I'm gonna have to end this game soon. So he plays bishop b6. Now I go here attacking the rook. So there's like a reason for this order. I don't want the rook to be able to pin the bishop, so I wait for the bishop to go here first, so it's not a pin. But now he goes back, and now I check him, covering c4, and then I go rook a8, trapping the bishop, and he resigns. Okay, so what was I going to say? Yeah, okay. So after king f8, he doesn't have to move the bishop. He has this really obscure move, knight to d2, attacking my bishop. So if I take, he take, and he's up a pawn. And if I take, he doesn't take back. He goes bishop to b3, saving the bishop, attacking the rook. Now I can't save the rook and the bishop. And so this is just really, really, really crazy. And now I take, and I'm like still slightly better. He can't take because of a back rank. But I'm not up a pawn anymore. Might I still win? Maybe, but this would be really, really crazy. And I think he was kind of already resigned to the fact that he was probably going to lose the bishop, so he wasn't even looking for this. I don't know who looks for this anyway. You have to be like a really strong player to even see knight d2 as an option. And then bishop to b3. Although there was a game between Magnus Carlsen and Jan Gustafsson, who's like a Norwegian streamer, where Magnus Carlsen pretended to be like a 1900 and he absolutely crushed him using one of these similar tactics. I'm not going to pull up that game, but just a whatever fun random. Okay, so that was the first game. I did end up winning this game despite some shakeups. But that is the first game. I'm now 1 out of 1, and I'll see you all in the next recap. Thanks for watching.